All right, green-black henge. This is a deck list that I've liked to a degree. Use one of my cuts on Grixis Alliance. Sounds good, Invictus. We'll slide that up to right after this one. Green-black henge. I've liked the look of this deck list, and it's played very reasonably. This is the deck that I played, or that will be played by me in the E-League E-League tournament that's being broadcast tomorrow night. I think this deck's very reasonable against aggro, and it runs down and grinds out control well with the Great Henge. But I do think that this deck does struggle, especially on the draw, against the average draw that these ramp decks can produce. We've got 4 Noxious Grasp to help us keep up against them a little bit, but I do think that matchup we're definitely a little bit behind. It's not as unwinnable as this Black-White Knights deck that we just played, but you're definitely not ahead against them. I agree that Growth Chamber Guardian is kind of middling at times, but I also think if you look at the list of 2-drops that you have available to you in this archetype, there really isn't a better 2-drop. In fact, I'd really like if we had another good 2-drop past Growth Chamber Guardian, but they just don't exist. Like, there aren't great early plays in this format. Yeah, I'm 19 rotated. So, like, Thorn Lieutenant's not an option. This probably isn't good enough. It's got 4 lands and doesn't have double green. This hand's pretty good. I'm gonna bottom Ceratops here. How much do I need to donate to dictate what time you play my deck? Usually I look for a $50 donation to dictate the schedule on which your deck gets played. Billy Zane, thank you for the 12 months of support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good Tuesday wherever you're at. Huh. Crawler Pooner's an interesting thought. It does eat the goose for free. You're not wrong there. Alright, our start's pretty good here, but this is a green ramp deck. Like I said, it's gonna be a little bit challenging. I think that card's much worse than Growth Chamber Guardian.
Every tale about me is absolute nonsense. It's not poison. Trust me.
I chose to Mayhem or Ferox. So, the idea is that we want our cards to be good at enabling the Great Henge. So, part of the thing about Lovestruck Beast is that there's more to a creature than just attacking. So, the Lovestruck Beast plays defense really well against aggressive decks, which helps you have respect for those style of decks. So I am a fan of Lovestruck Beast because while it does have a limitation on occasion, it's also very good at playing defense, and it's very good at making the Great Henge cheaper because it has 5 points of power for 3 mana. You can curve 3 mana Beast into 4 mana Great Henge on 3/4. How do you ever beat turn 2 Oko? I mean, if they don't have any other payoffs, Questing Beast can help us get there. Maybe. The Reed Duke deck has 4 Flower Flourish.
I invite you to change your ways.
That attack is super aggressive when I Conquesting Beast next turn. I mean, trophying turn 2 Oko is not particularly good, because then you're ramping your opponent. Like, you're answering their threat, but usually they have another one.
So it's a game you're interested in.
So, like, generally speaking, that's not an ideal answer. And if you watch me play this deck a bit, JBW, you'll see that in the matchups where they can frequently kill a 1/1 and the beast doesn't block meaningfully, we board it out. Opponent has Once Upon a Time, Grazer into Guildgate. Tell me what they're on. They're on Golos Gates with Field of the Dead. Yeah, both of those are considerations to not play Yorvo, Labrador. Yeah, the fact that it just gets turned into a 3/3 is not stellar. Oh, that makes Great Henge expensive too. That really sucks. Yeah. So, I'd really like to draw a Regisaur here. How about a second Great Henge? If I draw... Oh, the Great Henge doesn't even do anything, right? Because I have Oko. Yeah. And this is why, like, it's honestly a really good example of why what feels good early isn't necessarily good or indicative of what's going to be good later, right? Because, like, this deck felt really good the first couple of times we played it, but then, you know, as these Oko decks develop and become popular, if they're a real struggle for this deck, this then becomes something that we don't want to play, right? Oko answers the Great Henge, it answers all of our power for threat, so like it's a very clean answer to the payoff that we're working on. I don't know what Kenrith's transformation does. Honestly, I'm leaning towards just like, this deck's not very good. If these Bant decks are the deck to beat, this deck's not very good. Yeah, we played Abzan Wolves. It felt okay. It probably should have just been 4-color Wolves. Paulo Vito or Damaderosa had posted a 4-color Wolves list that seemed pretty good because Oko's great. I know it's disappointing to like have a deck that you like playing and find out that it's not good enough, but that's just like how card games work. You should always wait to get a little attached before wait for formats to develop before getting too attached to things. Yeah, the Bant deck lacked good answers to big creatures. Or like creatures that they couldn't take off the board. Now they don't actually have to take them off the board, right? Should we have templed first? No. I guess I could technically temple and then draw my card for turn 2 before playing the ones. Lie to us and tell us we can beat Oko. I mean, you can beat Oko in some situations. I was kind of looking for a 1-drop, so I think I like playing it on 1, because, like, if I hit If I hit a Knight of the Ebon Legion, I would have played it out. You can find all of the past deck lists on my website and my YouTube channel. Click Video Standard on the website, and there's deck lists in all the YouTube video descriptions.
Stand by and watch. Trust me, I have a plan.
Alright, well, I mean, at least I get to do this. This is my quest. Jump.
Now what?
Now what? It's almost like I know how my website works and you don't, Cheddar. So, the random standard deck list pages that I have don't have Stream Deck or decks up on them. You are correct. But going to the YouTube video, there's text deck lists in the description of every YouTube video. So that very much does work right now. So take a 10-minute break. And this is a good example. Honestly, it might also be, and this is something that, like, the amount of games you need to play to know whether or not matches are good or bad is really high. And, like, there's a very real chance that, like, this matchup is just play draw dependent. That's another thing that I've been thinking about. Like, the games where I'm on the play feel very different than the games where I'm on the draw, and that might just be the difference. Maybe we should experiment a little bit. I wonder if Duress helps on the draw. I wonder if this is a reasonable thing to do. Let's try this. They have a lot of good non-creature spells. Maybe just, like, trying to have that to break it up seems reasonable. And again, like, that's why it's important to remember, too, that, like, jamming random ladder matches is awful formal testing, because it's not formal testing. Like, if I was trying to, like, if I was going to a tournament that I cared about, and I was going to spend a lot of effort testing for it, I would sit down and I'd play a matchup a dozen times, 24 times with different sideboard configurations, game ones, post boards, and try and figure out all of those different things. And that's just for one matchup, right? So, like, when people ask you, like, is a deck good? Like, you literally need triple digits worth of games logged to have, like, really good data-driven feeling for that. Are great formats still play draw dependent, or is it intrinsic to Magic? I mean, one matchup being very play draw dependent doesn't mean the entire format's play draw dependent too. Oh, Deathless Knight. You keep mentioning that one. Let's try that. Deathless Knight. Let's give that one a go after this match. Because we're on the ladder. We can make changes in between. It's a card I've been meaning to try. I think that's a good suggestion. To be fair, there are decks that you... No, that not with any amount of certainty, Jensen. There are decks where I say, I don't feel like there... I feel like there might not be anything here, but the level of certainty is what's always important. Like, there are definitely decks that I say I'm done playing, that, because I don't feel like working on them, that are certainly going to work out to be reasonable because someone else is working on them. Okay. This seems potentially very good. I'm gonna be so tilted when we lose this game. I am gonna be unbelievably tilted when we lose this game. Should not have boarded in Duress. All Duress does is tilt me off the face of the planet. Oh, I am Can I take a break to the tune of Take a Break from Hamilton? I don't know that I can pull that one off. I don't know. I haven't... I don't know all of them. I know the chorus. Take a break. I just can't even. God bless America, my country. 'Tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Of the I sing. Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Sweet land of Tefri. Yeah, there's also the problem because that chorus is like 6 different people singing things. Yeah, I hid the Tefri clock because maybe I'm supposed to hold on to this because I have Great Henge. I don't have a creature left over. Yeah, that's probably the case. Magic is an incredibly low variance game, chat. Never forget. Never forget. I think I'm discarding the backup Great Henge here. Watch the auto tapper try and not leave double green up when I pump this. How fun was Neoform from 1 to 10? It was like a solid 8. We had a good run. That deck's dumb and really needs to be banned. Look at you, auto tapper. You managed to do a thing. Congratulations. This is the part where they play Oko and make my Henge a 3/3 and I right click concede. Yeah, we're doing Modern every morning. So I took last week off at the end just to do Standard when it was brand new, but we're back to doing one Modern deck a day to start things off. As always, you can find my schedule and what decks I plan to play when on my website.
I've got it.
Vomit. I'm probably not gonna bother to play the win every card in Standard event. Closing my hand in a card door tends to be more pleasant than playing best of 1 Magic. That was a good time. It's a good time. I knew when I duressed their only spell that we were 0% to win that game. Because that is exactly how Magic works. Haste, when you gain life for the first time each turn, return it from your graveyard to your hand. That seems sweet. Joining the queue and never playing will get you 20 gems. Deal. In. Did your alert not pop up? Anyway, welcome back, Manu. I might have just missed it. We were tilting. I'll restart the thing just in case. How is it possible that I don't have 4 of this card? That's kind of unreal that I don't have four of this uncommon. I've opened 260 packs. I have plenty of uncommon wild cards, so it's like besides the point. It's more the principle of the matter than anything. Trivial amount of uncommon wild cards. In. Yeah, there's a pack opening VOD on YouTube. It is there. It didn't happen last season because this is strictly incorrect to do. Because again, you should wait to make this decision after you have more info. Regisaur is great here, right? It lets me Great Henge nice and early. I don't know who, because I haven't looked at the usernames, but someone in the sub-survey commented that they were upset when I point out that people make mistakes. Even when I explain why their plays are mistakes. I just like couldn't fathom being upset by that. So to whoever that was, your feedback is noted and not going to be acted upon. Because pointing out when players make suboptimal plays is an important part of the stream to help people learn and grow. Yeah. They were upset explicitly when I point out my opponent's mistakes. They weren't upset when I point out my own mistakes. They were upset when I point out mistakes that the other player is making, even when I explain why they're wrong. I think I just pumped this and kill Oko, right? Just like take the freebie here. No, I don't want to fart because that leaves Oko at 1 because he goes to 6 when he comes into play for some god-awful reason. Did they use the word upset? All right. I don't think they used exactly that word. They asked me not to do it anymore, though, which is silly. I'm not going to say whose username it was, but let me quote. We are afraid of the big bad wolf, the big bad wolf. I can't find it now.
I will invert the world to watch kings grovel and worms rule. Let's broaden your existence.
Yay! So I guess we just smash these this way.
Up a fun fate for you. Welcome to the feast.
We don't discard now. Glass half full. Deathless Knight being another haste threat there was pretty good. Solid observation. Although I guess if it had been a Shifting Ceratops, it would have also been fine there. And like even getting down Henge here doesn't really accomplish anything, right? Because like getting down Henge, just gets it Oko'd. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cancel Green White Henge and ask the person who donated to donate for something else, and we'll get a different deck in later today. I think I just feel like none of my choices matter here, right? I feel like I just can't do anything. No, I don't collect geographical data. And they get to, like, eat one of my cards here with the wolf. I guess they have to, like, have kind of medium blocks, I guess. As always, the deck that we play are determined by people that support the content. So, if we run out of deck submissions, I'm definitely going to fill stuff in myself. But in general, as long as people are submitting decks, I'm going to focus on the things people have sent in. This actually looks like the Sultai Oko deck we played yesterday, which was actually very good. That's one of my favorite decks in the format at the moment, I think. Which, you know, I don't think we've ever run out of decks. We've not ever run out of decks. We'll do Bolt Boy. Which Reanimator, Bolt Boy? There's a couple. There's 2 Reanimator decks in the queue.
Surely you must be famished.
Garrick seems underplayed so far. I think is a very good top, and I disagree. I think compared to the other ramp decks in the format, he's kind of mediocre. Which one is yours, Bolt Boy? Alkali, can you pick something else for Green White Henge? I really don't think these Henge decks are gonna have a good time in the long term. Okay, so Murderous Rider lets us kill this. We got that going for us. I mean, again, like, I don't think Oko's, like, an overbearing card. He just makes certain strategies really bad, which is to be expected, right? Like, not every deck we throw together is going to be good. And just because a deck seemed good on the first or second day of the stream doesn't mean it's going to be good in the long term. That's just how Magic works. Like, the problem with 6 mana Garrick is, like, if you're getting to 6 mana, you could just, like, play Nissa. And then, like, once you have Nissa, you can play, like, Hydroid Grace and all these other things. Like, the range of things you have at the top end in this format is huge. Well, we tried. And this is the other thing, right? Like, Wicked Wolf is just like an impossible brick wall. Although they just no longer have a food token, so that seems really good for us. And they just have an Assassin's Trophy here. All right, that bodes well. Yeah, I can definitely do that, Alkali. That I can definitely do. Kenrith build around. So I think we just murder this. Like, the only reason we have a shot in these Oko matchups is because we have so many pieces of black removal and the white build just doesn't have that. Like, post-board, we probably have an okay shot because we're going to have Riders, we're going to have Trophies, we're going to have Noxious Grasps. And to be fair, these Deathless Knights are about to be pretty good, right? Every time you gain life, we get to pick this back up. So, like, we don't have a creature in hand right now, but we're going to get to play this Great Henge and pick Deathless Knight back up and play it. So that's something that's super meaningful. Yeah, they've also gone through a lot of Okos this game. I'm gonna block and take up their whole turn here. When's the next big standard tournament? The Mythic Championship is in a little bit. This seems good. All right. Yeah, it seems like a neat addition. More haste threats is good for running down planeswalkers for sure. Am I okay with their whole turn being this? Yeah, I think so. One questing beast, please. Rats. If you open the Stream Decker website, you should get the deck list there. The plugin on mobile is not working currently. Nah, I can always get them back next turn, Underplex. And I want to play my stuff out pre-combat in case I draw a questing beast. Deckmaster is adding random cards to the board. Is that true? Was there an Ashiok on board? That's funny. All right, well we beat Triple Oko. This card's really good when it doesn't get Oko'd. All the Doom Blades, please. Deathless Knight. Deathless Knight dragged us across the finish line there. It was a good addition. Felt bad, and it could just be like that too, right? Like, again, like figuring out what's good, bad, or otherwise. We talked about last season, the Yarok field matchup versus Esper was like, the matchup felt bad, but when you actually play, it felt bad while you were playing it, but it actually was a good matchup for Yarok, right? Like, it was miserable while you were playing it because you just, like, everything died all the time, but eventually you ground them out. My website also depends on Stream Decker, so Stream Decker having issues on mobile also means parts of my website are down. So, if you click through to my YouTube videos, there are deck lists in the description of every YouTube video. If you need a deck list right now and don't want to wait. Hey, Genesis, thanks for the entire year of support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. For 4 of this card is not optional right now. This is one you want all the copies of. I've cut the green-white henge deck from the schedule. The person who submitted it agreed that they would be happier with something else, so I'm getting rid of it. You feel like running Noxious Grasp main board is reasonable? I don't know. If you really want to be super inbred, you can. I don't know if we're quite at that point yet. I think Disfigure is not quite good enough. Maybe it's good enough here because they have both of these, but I think in general, it's probably not where I want to be in life. Yeah, if you go directly to Stream Decker's site, the Stream Decker site seems to be working too. Some of whenever they rebuilt or changed the plugin support seems to be broken. I don't know. As someone who likes not randomly dying to red aggro, I think there's a lot of really inbred decks being played on the ladder right now. So maybe you don't want it for ladder play specifically, but I don't think you wouldn't catch me without some number of Disfigure in most of my black decks. Or some way to have a really cheap way to play to the board. Yeah, that's fair, Bob. I don't know. I feel like if I was playing on the ladder for a tournament, I would probably want to have my tournament deck list just so I could have experience with what my expectations are. I think I'm just taking this trade. If I draw a henge, I'm pretty sad. Oh, magic. Oh, magic. Just like we drew it up. I'm regretting crafting these henges. Yeah, I agree, Bob. Which is, again, you should always wait. Don't build things early in the season, chat. Things that look good on day one are not often going to stick. The only deck I've played off stream this season is the Grixis Alliance deck. Not been much time to play off stream. I was just like putting it together last night, and I was like, this looks too sweet to not play, so I had to play some games with it. I think the Doom Foretold deck is actually good. I don't know, that would kind of surprise me, Bob. It's also early though, so. Correct. Yeah, I've been live too much to really play off stream. Is exactly correct. If I'm playing Magic, I might as well turn the stream on, basically. Am I still really one short? That's so unfortunate. I think I'm keeping that there, because in the event they kill this, it lets me cast Great Henge next turn. Yeah, pumping gives 3/3 for 3 mana. So pumping, chat, pumping is 3/3 for 3 mana. So pumping is neutral on the Great Henge. The pump is free, it's not mana advantage. Yikes. It's unfortunate we had a Deathless Knight waiting to come back to. That's fine. We've got a castle down here, so like woof. We're afraid of the big bad wolf, the big bad wolf, the big bad wolf. I assume they're gonna pump this. Yeah, we're probably dead here. That's fine. We won game 1. We'll get game 3 on the play. Alright. I mean, like, all things considered, it's, like, pretty okay. I expect Questing Beast to be absurd. Questing Beast is really, really good. Y'all let your feelings swing way too wildly. We're 1-1 going into a third game here. We lost a close game in what's likely a bad matchup where our opponent drew well. Like, even if this deck was great, you're still gonna lose matches with it. That's how Magic works. This might not be the deck that breaks the format. Shocker. One of our first ideas wasn't perfect. It's dead. We sent it up to the farm to live with old Yeller. Yep. Is it crazy to bottom this? You probably want to bottom this. Let's do that. Just need a land really badly. Well, our deck really wants us to have a Growth Chamber Guardian. At least here we can check and see that it's on the bottom, right? Goose is better than Land War Elves, don't at me. They do things, yep. Not sure why Goose has 2 toughness. Yeah, yeah, it's a good observation too. Why does this Birds of Paradise get a 2nd point of toughness? No blocks. Go to 16. Think I'm binning the Murderous Rider here. I am super excited to get Assassin's Trophy next turn. When it's giving a 1-mana creature 2 toughness. Hey, at least it doesn't have a point of power, Bob. At least it doesn't have a point of power. All I'm saying is it could have had a point of power. All right, so these are going to trade, but I'm going to draw a Growth Chamber Guardian still, so that's nice. If they attack with this, I'm going to trade at this point, so I don't have to discard. Sorry, it's trading for the food. It's trading for the food. It's trading for the food. I said trade, I meant trading for the food. Because getting the food off the table is important so we can eventually kill this. So we did trade for a resource. I should clarify. You all are correct that we did not trade 1-for-1 in terms of cards. That's an unfortunate draw. Let's cook this while they can't make food for it.
Open your heart to the magic that
We should order those triggers the other way around. That's not how Magic the Gathering works.
change your ways.
I was typing up how we were in a good spot, and then they drew Oko, right? That's the real long and short of it. We were kind of okay, and then they drew Oko. That's a good pickup. Yeah, I think we're still okay because they didn't make food on their turn. If they would have made a food at sorcery speed, I think we'd be worse off. But because they decided not to do that, we're kind of okay at the moment. Maybe it's wrong to burn Murderous Rider there and not this because they have Knight in play. But I also just kind of want to be resource efficient. I'm not 100% sure. So if my opponent would have made their food at sorcery speed, they could have just... this card is such a beating. People, if I had to pick a card that I underrated when reading the spoiler, it would definitely be this card. This card is far more powerful than I was expecting it to be. There is a Pithy Needle in this format. Sorcerer's Spyglass is legal. Alright, so they can pump this now. So I guess the line is just we grasp this. And now the problem is we can't beat the goose laying eggs for Wicked Wolf every turn, right? Of course we firmly grasp him. Look at those abs. Look at them. Got a lot to hold on to there. Oko's like a combination of Garrick and Jace. He's like a rip dude that everybody hates. I don't think we can win from here. Yeah. I think we're gonna slide along here to the Grixis deck I've been looking forward to. Yeah, it's a hard knock life, chat. This feels like a good example of something that was good a little bit early, and this is just, it really highlights that point I was trying to hammer home over the weekend, which is that, like, while we were winning a lot with a lot of things, we were mostly playing our decks that are likely bad against other decks that just, like, happen to be worse or happen to line up poorly into ours. And, like, as things solidify and we really know what we're attacking, a lot of these decks that felt good in that first, 3 or 4 day window, as things develop and solidify, they're going to be worse. Questing Beast is almost certainly has a home in the format. Honestly, as good as this card felt to start, as long as Oko is, like, omnipresent, like, going through these hoops to, like, get this expensive artifact to be our payoff, to just have it turn into a 3/3, feels bad. And I see a lot of people commenting on their wild cards in chat. This is just a good reminder that I'm here to set my stuff on fire so you don't have to. So in the future, when set releases happen, don't craft things until, don't craft it, mythics at least, until there's been a couple of tournament results. Because, like, even, and who knows, maybe things swing around and this ends up being okay. Because again, it's all kind of in flux, right? Felt good, felt bad, felt good, felt bad. All the economies in these games suck, Bob. It's funny, like, the Mythgard game I've been playing, I like it a lot, except its economy feels worse than Arenas does. Like, it's just the way it all ends up. Alright, so, I'm gonna take a quick ad break, and I'm gonna figure out, we're probably gonna play Grixis for a while. If Grixis doesn't suck, we're gonna do a long set with it. So, BRB, and when we get back, we're gonna play a little bit of this. I played some of this off stream last night and it felt sweet. So hopefully this ends up actually being sweet. That's what I'm looking forward to today.